really not true.
Very mature audience, except for the ones on Reddit.
And everybody else.
And everybody else. It's okay. It's just video games, guys.
Fun with video games. Well, Varus is going to be banned again. That is one of Edge's most played champions this season. Not switching that up, and I guess they really don't want to first pick Poppy.
Yep, pretty much. So Poppy, second ban coming in now for Kongdoo. Banned out the Nidalee first. Do you ban the Azir?
Well, SKTelecom is willing to first pick Azir, but that was in a matchup against BDD, who has been prioritizing that Azir pick quite heavily.
True.
And they're not going to have the chance to first pick the Kalista this game. Graves is banned by SKTelecom.
Huh, interesting.
I did not expect that.
Do you think maybe they want to take Kindred?
They could first pick Kindred here, but now they will
Not
not.
anymore.
So, Corki's up though.
Yeah, I was going to say. Corki taken, that'll probably be going to Faker.
Now, do Kongdoo take the Gragas away right here? Obviously, with the Elise still up, we have two champions that Blank has shown a lot of comfort on.
Taking the Alisar away is probably a good idea, though. So they might grab that or Googer. So on the SKTelecom side, though, you've got the Corki. Do you maybe still take the Azir at the end and flex it to ADC if you get the chance?
That is an interesting conundrum. Obviously, Faker has played a lot of mid lane Corki
Right.
so far this season, so it's definitely not out of the question. It's also easier because Faker, not really a known Varus player, and when he plays mid lane AD carries, it's typically been Ezreal historically. And if you're going to play a Corki in the AD carry role, you usually want to balance that out with an AD mid champion, which could be Zed, but I think they're unlikely to blind pick it.
I mean, you say Faker's not a Varus player, but we've seen him play it very well. We saw a game last year where he had more damage than the entire enemy team combined.
That is true.
So he can play good Varus if they need him to. But yeah, it's not a normal pick for him.
They're definitely going to threaten that. Blank, if he locks in the Lee Sin, this will be his first game on Lee Sin. And prioritizing that perhaps above the Elise.
Okay, wow, Lee Sin. SKT
and the
experimenting
Gragas
a little bit here. Got Trundle locked in for presumably support, although it could go to the top lane too. And the Trundle's great to have against the Maokai, of course.
Definitely is, and at least right now they're going to see something before they have to commit their two flex picks to specific roles, but I'm pretty sure that's going to be a support Trundle. I think that's fair to say.
What do you take though if you're Kongdoo? I mean, this Lee Sin pick has probably thrown them a little bit.
Well, you still have the Gragas and the Elise. You're probably going to take one of those. And then you're going to take an AD carry here. But considering you don't know the lane matchup yet, that could be a little bit tricky. Perhaps Soul goes for a Lucian or something a little bit more standard.
Lucian seems safe.
Or they could take the Azir for Edge.
All right. Leaving that AD carry pick for last, potentially. Yep, looks like they will. So Azir and Elise taken now. So the final two picks over to SKTelecom.
This makes the Varus a very attractive option.
Yeah, it does. Gragas Varus. Ooh. I'd love to see Bang play that Jhin. I think maybe they're saying, we think you're going to play the Jhin too.
I think that's probably a pretty fair guess. It's been Soul's best champion. His best performances have come out on the Jhin. So if you could deny the Jhin pick, because right now it looks like they're setting up for a really big front line, it would be more SKTelecom-esque to play the Sivir.
True.
They have not played a single Jhin game.
Yeah, but I think they're just showing it to be like, all right, we know what you're doing. We're not afraid of the Jhin, so go ahead and pick it. Trying to put the fear of SKT.
I mean, they have enough engage that if they pick something like a Jhin, the Lee Sin will be able to get into that back line and kick him out. That's the hope that they would go for, and they're going to take the Sivir and the Gragas yet again.
Yeah, so top lane Gragas coming in for Duke in game 2. So will Kongdoo go for that Jhin? Could take the, I mean, I don't know. Vayne seems a little bit risky. There we go.
Soul's going to have to be really good with his positioning if he wants to play this Jhin against Gragas, Sivir, and Lee Sin. I think the Lucian would be a significantly safer option in mid and late game team fights. And with the composition that Kongdoo is building, they need something that's going to provide the extra damage to push them over the top with the Azir, because they have 3 utility champions already selected. Lucian would fit the bill.
Yep. And unless it gets changed at the last minute, looks like it will be that Lucian for Kongdoo Monster. Yep, it is. Okay.
I really like how SKTelecom drafted around Soul's Jhin on the blue side. They put so many backline threats that basically the Jhin and his low mobility was not going to be very viable. I think that's why they chose the Lee Sin so early on in this draft. And then they followed up with the Gragas and the Sivir. There's not a lot of ways that a Jhin would successfully be able to shoot from the back line without getting hit by some form of disruption, whether it's a Lee Sin kick or the explosive cast.
Yeah.
It'd be very hard to keep them from getting back there when they're already been Sivir ulted.
So Kongdoo may be thrown off their game plan a little bit here in game number 2. Still with a good comp, though.
Yeah, Kongdoo has a perfectly fine composition. It's just a matter of, is this team going to be able to play those late game team fights? And the answer from what we've seen from Kongdoo is probably no. Even though they've got a good setup here, certainly as standard can be at this point in time, it's going to be rough because of SKTelecom's surge. They've won 5 consecutive games in a row right now without dropping a single one after their 2-0 victory over CJ and their 2-0 victory over Longshu.
That's right. So SKTelecom looking to get that second win, get the 2-0, tie KT Rolster at second place in the standings. They've jumped up a couple spots since the midseason, haven't they?
They've been jumping quite a bit.
Yes, they have. Well, we'll see if they can get the 2-0 now. Time to get into what could be the final game of the night, so don't miss it. Kongdoo versus SKTelecom. It's game time.
Mother Nature, everybody wants to lose.
All right, welcome to Summoner's Rift. Kongdoo Monster taking on the world champion SKTelecom, who's had an interesting season, but just like a year ago in Champion Spring 2015, looking pretty dominating in the second half.
I think we're headed for a better finals. At least I hope we are then.
I hope so too. But one worries.
One does worry. We had questions last year too about the Tigers.
Yeah.
They secured their spot at number 1, they got that automatic berth into the finals, and then they started struggling, and we didn't know whether or not they were hiding things because they didn't have to win any more games. It turned out that they were rather heavily beaten by the Cinderhulk meta, because in the end they didn't put much of a fight in the finals, got 3-0'd by SKT. I really hope that's not the case again.
Yeah. I mean, and it wasn't just a 3-0ing. It was a 3-0ing by the B team, essentially, for SKTelecom.
Yeah.
The alternate jungler, the alternate mid laner.
That was embarrassing.
Yeah.
It's definitely embarrassing for the Tigers. But we'll see how they close out the rest of the season. Rocks has a few more games to go. If they can continue looking strong, that loss against KT yesterday was somewhat worrisome, and there's a real possibility that with the Freaks on this hot streak where they've won 7 out of their late 8 last matches, including wins against notable teams in the top 4, that Faker.
Yeah, taking that turret hit. Well, you said you wanted him to play aggressive. Is this what you wanted?
I guess it is. He's got the corrupting version though. So. But yes, I am a little bit concerned about the Tigers after their losses to Samsung and KT. So poke wars in the mid lane. Ultimately, since we have standard lanes here, it's probably not going to be that exciting unless Blank can get a good gank in, or alternatively Crush, because there'll be tank wars in the top side, poke wars in the mid lane, and it's a pretty good disengage from both of these teams in the bottom lane with Trundle and Alistair. Faker just continuing to burn through those corrupting potion charges.
Yeah, harassing Edge quite a bit. Edge down to no potions, just at Doran's blade now.
But early pressure advantage here to SKT, and Crush is going to show up right at 3 minutes.
Yep, that's right.
Oh, missed the Faust bomb.
Faker recalling in lane. I guess they're not going to go for the game.
Once they get that.
There we go.
So aware of that timing, not going to provide any kind of opportunity. Faker with the exhaust this game. Still not sure about that one. I came around to the Corki exhaust in our last series when it was against the Graves. Not sure who he's going to exhaust here. Edge would have to go into a team fight really early for that exhaust, I think, to be.
I don't know. Clearly he's worried about it. Oh, Blank's first Lee Sin game. Should be interesting to see what he can do.
When was the last time we had a rookie Korean jungler who took like 10 games to play Lee Sin, Dilla?
I don't know. That's like unheard of, man.
It's not unheard of this season. Obviously, we've got guys like Crush and Crash.
It's unheard of. Oh, Faker! Well, this isn't exactly unheard of either, is it? This is
no one
pretty,
expects the Maokai.
pretty par for the course. Faker pushes up in lane, gets ganked. Yeah.
Well,
Hippo maybe wasn't the one he thought he was going to see, but
yes, he definitely did not think that there was going to be a flash twisted advanced Maokai.
Crush in a little bit of trouble now. Blank gets wrapped up. There's the flash.
Uh-oh,
Going for it.
Spiderlings.
Yep.
Where's the Q? There's the repel, so he's not actually going to die.
Wow.
Both junglers expending their flashes in that little duel.
Meanwhile, an all-in down at bot lane, Bang and Wolf going in onto Soul Duker, but they're going to back off after doing a good amount of damage. Potions down there now. And in this patch, Alistar's heal for allies is a little bit weaker than it was.
It's not the main reason to pick Alistar. Obviously, that's
Right.
going to hurt his laning
Yeah,
just a little bit, but he still has all the power of early turret diving and super strong tanking and early skirmishes that are really the reason why he's picked.
Yep. Relevant in the 2v2, but still got that CC.
That's what matters.
Yep.
Now, Faker's been victim to a couple of ganks right now, but that's kind of on Duke for not explaining where Hippo was on the map. Not respecting the fact that he could be, in fact, trying to gank this mid lane, but it was a good roam from Hippo. Just committing to that flash and getting the quick kill.
Yeah. So things pretty even up across the board. A little bit of a lead for Kongdoo just off of that first blood gold, but SKTelecom a couple CS up in a couple lanes. But as even as it gets, there's a teleport, bringing Hippo back to lane. And Duke doesn't want to fight that.
He sees the teleport used, so it's safe to use his TP now.
Yep.
If he chooses, the lane is going to be in a good spot for him to come back to. Not really going to lose that much CS. Pops back. It's another Doran's ring and some magic resist. Exciting times.
Why not?
But with that kill, the cowl already up onto Hippo. He's going to have those edges when it comes to trades. Also didn't buy a corrupting potion.
True. Here comes Blank from the side. He's got the ward there. Can they actually make a play, though? I don't know.
Unlikely. They didn't expend any mid lane summoners in the gank. Makes things more challenging when it comes to evening out that lane again. But Edge really didn't get much of an advantage, just the assist.
True.
And he couldn't really take a large CS lead out of the gank either. In fact, he obviously is still a little bit behind. It's not actually going to be that relevant. Affects Duke's lane far more, but giving that first blood to Maokai, Maokai is not going to take that significant of an advantage, I don't think. Just a few CS here or there as he can more effectively zone Duke off the minion wave.
Yep. And here comes Blank, trying to make a plan to Hippo. He's got no flash, just advance back onto Duke. Nice kick from Blank, puts Hippo even farther behind enemy lines. He's tanky, and Duke is really low. I don't know if they can actually do this. A couple members of Kongdoo coming up to help as well. Hippo's still alive for the moment. He lives. Nice Emperor's Divide comes in from Edge, and that's a kill.
Great
for the
roam.
Azir.
Great roam from Edge.
Yeah.
To come up and help his teammate. Blank just so close to getting that kill. They wanted to take an advantage over Hippo while his flash was still down. Instead, they lose another one. And they're going to get their blue buff stolen away. So Kongdoo with some impressive map awareness this game and showing up in the nick of time.
Let's watch that one again. I mean, it was really close. But
Fighting
Hippo,
in the minion wave too, they took a lot of caster minion damage. And they wanted to get that kill, and they just knock him back. But Hippo is really tanky right now. He's not taking that much damage from Duke because the cowl's already complete. Even though he has no mana. Oh, Edge coming through with that flash to set up the Emperor's Divide and get the kill.
pretty good stuff if you're Kongdoo Monster. But if you're SKTelecom, you see kills in the top and mid lane already, and it's not a great thing.
Blank too, he went for the Sightstone first, so he just didn't have as much damage. Has a Skirmisher Saber though. Still can try and make some plays or duel out. And at least they're going to trade the blue buff right back around. Faker as the package, so contesting this would be a challenge, especially with Lucian not even there.
Yep. And are they going to get a dragon too, maybe? I don't know. I guess Edge is pushing up that mid lane, so Faker has to go back and clear the wave at least.
Well, they can try and take a dragon here. The minion wave is in a really good place for them. They have control of the crab.
Looks like they might. Yep, they're going for it.
Yeah, not too much of a risk, especially as Azir just went back. So this should be the uncontested dragon for SKTelecom. So at least they play the other side of the map well. When they just lost somebody on the top side, they bounce back and take the enemy blue in response and go ahead and get that first dragon. So behind 600 gold already, but it's definitely not the end of the world for them. Especially with Faker's CS lead developing in this mid lane now.
Yeah, and it's not like SKTelecom isn't used to winning games that they start out behind in. It's pretty much what they do nearly all the time.
Yeah, it's tricky too, because Edge here, his itemization, going for the Negatron Cloak, sure it cuts out that Boss Bomb damage, but when Faker goes for the Sheen and is trying to get in more auto attacks, it's hard to itemize against a Corki in the mid lane if you're going to be within auto attack range. That's what he's banking on, but he's still heading gold thanks to his kill.
Right. Oh, Duke's in big trouble. Okay, never mind. I thought they were going to dive that a little bit more aggressively. But I guess not.
SKT's going to have a pretty strong power spike, though. 2 items from Sivir. And the...
Oh, Faker just face checks a brush. Valkyrie's over the wall. Can he escape? Repel, use. Oh, he can't quite reach him.
Just out of range of that repel, but yes, face checking the pink brush. Not the wisest move. Doesn't have to spend his exhaust, but his flash now down. That's going to make Edge able to use that Emperor's Divide in some possibly creative ways to punish Faker. Of course, he'll still have the Valve, but if he gets behind that Emperor's Divide, he's going to have to go sideways instead.
Yeah. It seems like Faker's been a little bit lackadaisical in that mid lane this game.
He's just been playing, I think, overly aggressive and face-checking that brush. Not stellar mid lane play when he doesn't know where the jungler is and he doesn't have backup himself. Blank was a little late to the party.
Yes, he was. That said, the gold lead's still only about 600 though for Kongdoo. SKTelecom still have a good chance. Faker may get dove here. Crush was thinking about it, but they decided against it.
Now, they may have been able to do that if Edge had flash, but still super risky. Trying to punish him a little bit more and see if he would get greedy and come up for that CS, but with his rockets and his Foss Bomb, he doesn't have to be anywhere close to the wave farm.
Pretty much. And CS pretty even across all the lanes right now too. Just a little bit of a lead for Faker in mid. That's about it, but no kills, just 1 death. SKTelecom, though, they did get the first dragon, which helps a lot. Looks like Blank might be coming in for a gank in the bot lane. Waiting to see if Sol and Cougar push up any farther. They're
Has
pushing
flash,
up.
has Sightstone.
I think you go for it. Blank
That
waiting.
position.
Oh, now they're going really far forward. Okay, here we go. Blank coming in.
Crush
Crush is right there, though. Teleport comes in immediately from Kongdoo. Cougar tries to go for the play on Wolf, but Wolf gets away with the flash, drops that pillar, and it doesn't look like anybody's going to be ganked here. Edge was coming down, too.
Hippo was coming down. So yeah, Hippo had to cancel his TP once he saw that the play wasn't going to work. It was a good reaction by Cougar, but Wolf flashed and therefore got headbutted the other way, and now Crush has to flash to get out of that.
Yep, Edge had been coming down the river, but he went back up again. All right, well, that's one way to separate people, I suppose. Emperor's Divide one way.
Kick him the other way.
Dragon's Rage the other way. Yep.
Everybody just stop fighting.
Well, they did.
They did.
Are you happy now?
I am.
I'm not.
I'm a League of Legends pacifist. Kill towers and nexuses only, please.
Sounds boring. What's the opposite of pacifist? Like warmonger, maybe?
Yes.
All right.
Warmongering.
I'm a League of Legends warmonger. SKT is going to call the silly Rift Herald from the Baron Pit.
Evict him.
Yeah. Goodbye. It's the Baron's house. It's his pit. Stay out of his pit.
I think they will. Well,
For the moment anyway.
he always comes back. So pesky.
Yep.
You can evict him as many times as you like. He'll just keep squatting.
He only lasts about 18 minutes though, or well, 1950, I suppose.
Yep.
Here comes Wolf dropping the pillar. How about that? What a pillar.
My God, what a pillar.
He just puts that trophy down and basks in its glory.
Claims this territory for his own.
That's right.
Giant trophy.
Remembering the glory days when he was part of that great baseball team, I guess.
And this one it was called Pillar of Filth instead of Pillar of Ice. It had much more character that way.
It did, yeah. I mean, who doesn't love a pillar of filth as well?
Looked like a giant monument constructed out of fecal matter.
Yeah, but I think that's
Now
pretty
it's
much
just
what
a
it
trophy.
was.
Boring.
Yeah, Crush on the scene. Oh, Wolf's going pretty far up there. Yeah, looks like Blank's going to chase him away in the river, though. Oh, hello. All right. Well, pink ward spotted. They're going to dive this. Sol kick back under turret. There's a kill for SKT. Bang in a good position. Wolf taking a lot of turret hits, though. They're going to trade 1 for 1. Bang not able to get all those auto attacks off that he wanted to. Wolf just got too low.
Yeah, but they did kill the AD carry, so they actually can push down this turret a little bit harder now as a result. Hippo and Duke doing the tank duel in the top lane where nothing matters.
Nope. Doesn't make a bit of difference, guys.
Preventing the teleports from both sides. Faker has the package, but they overstayed a little bit there on a level 6 Alistair.
I think Faker's got a delivery for the bot lane. There it is, the package coming in.
How would you like to watch a replay instead of the package though?
Oh, well, I guess they aborted anyway, so.
I mean, nice talk up onto Wolf there, and it's just the tankiness, unable to actually finish off anybody else underneath that turret, so they catch Wolf out.
So Faker did package his way in there, but then they backed off right away. Went for the dragon instead.
I like how you made package a verb. Good job.
Packaged his way in there.
Some of the UPS drivers do too. They just like package their way to your house.
That's right. Packaging all the way to the front door. SKT gets their second dragon. Still a little bit behind in gold, but it's minimal, you know?
Kongdoo doesn't need dragons to win either. They have a perfectly fine late game team composition, but their gold lead not really expanding right now. Been trading relatively evenly, and Bang & Wolf has been chipping away on this bottom tier 1 turret.
Yeah. And when you watch these games too, you're just kind of waiting for that moment where SKTelecom just hits the gas, wins that one team fight, and then changes that one team fight into an entire game win.
Interesting, we see early distortion enchantments onto Hippo. So if they do go for more teleports, there will be a window that Hippo will be able to teleport again, which should set up some nice ganks here. they decide to use it.
Certainly could. Bang the one with the CS lead now. The bot lane. Well, Soul being dead probably helps with that.
Hippo's been roaming into the enemy jungle, into the mid lane so many times this game. I really like the way he's playing. This is a style you can play against an aggressive laner like Faker. You can catch him out, and now the first blood happened.
Here comes Faker. Faker and Blank coming up. Looks like they're going to dive this down in bot lane. Wolf tanking turret hits already. Bang goes in with the damage. TP coming in. It's not going to save Soul. He's already gone. And now Hippo just kind of watching everybody die. No, he's going to turn it around because here comes Crush from the side. A kill from Hippo already. Gets exhausted. Cocoon onto Bang. Wolf flashed out of the way and the Cocoon hit Bang. Whoops. Double kill for Hippo though. And Faker and Wolf, the last people on SKT in that fight, on the run. They're going to keep chasing. They really want this. Yeah, they can just keep going. Faker waiting for that Valkyrie cooldown. Solo with the Sand Soldiers gets out with just 60 health.
Yeah, the Thunder Lords proc there too. Duke is going to take this turret in the top side as punishment, however. Minion wave not there in the bottom to actually take it, but Duke was really late on that TP. They're not really respecting the Alistar underneath the turret, and they're messing up quite a bit by diving. They'll trade turrets as a result. Sure, Faker was there early, but you can just 5-man commit to that bottom side in that case and just trade turrets, but you actually win that fight. That was some poor decision-making by SKTelecom. We'll have to check and see in the replay if Duke was perhaps in range of a twisted advance and so didn't want to initiate the TP early. He was not at all. Never mind.
He could have teleported.
Wolf going to try and tank that. Blank, unfortunately, the one to tank it afterwards. I suppose he didn't have his safeguard off the cooldown, so he couldn't really get out of that fight. Hippo, with the flash forward to try and pick up that kill, is successful, and then they tie up Bang with a Cocoon. Faker just barely getting out with his flash. And out of range of that twisted advance, gets into the brush. Just barely playing on the outside of it, and then Hippo loses interest as he can't see anymore. Still Faker nearly dying.
Yep. Faker grabbing his blue buff now.
The problem with that decision making is if you're going to commit like that, sure, you might lose your top tier 1 turret, but you're going to take a tier 1 in the bottom side if that gank is successful and you just preemptively teleport. Instead, Duke couldn't see the Maokai and didn't aggressively teleport onto the minion wave underneath the turret to try and just secure those kills. And if Maokai TPs, you're going to win that fight anyway, as long as Duke is there, and then you get a turret for free. So, not great communication from SKTelecom. They still are going to bounce back. Kongdoo will secure a turret of their own as they put Lucian in the top lane. Or are they going to push this?
It looks like all the way to the tier 2 for the moment anyway. Doing some damage to it. SKT just trying to push this lead as much as they can. Or not this lead, but push this
deficit.
Push this deficit as much as they can. That's right.
It's actually the needle on the deficit really hasn't moved at all.
Yeah, it's been about 600 gold or so for the last 10 minutes now. I guess it's around 700 now.
Oh no.
Yep. So you're saying Kongdoo's getting a bigger lead?
Very slightly. They don't need a lead to win this game. I mean, at least theoretically with these team compositions, they have plenty of late game carry potential. The one worry might be that if Alistar's ult is down and Hippo gets ulted by Trundle, that they could run into some issues. It depends on when Hippo is going to buy that QSS. That's going to be a necessary purchase for him at some point in this game to cleanse off the Trundle ultimate. Because if not, he's going to be paper for Bang and Faker to tear through.
I wouldn't want to be that paper.
Well, he's a tree, so he might become paper anyway at some point.
That's true. But that's usually after he dies, he becomes paper.
You can kill him and then turn him into paper.
It'd be like really torturous to turn a tree into paper while it's still a tree.
Well, that's what happens all the time, though.
Well, you know what I mean, but not a living tree.
Well, you kill him, then you turn him into paper.
But I'm saying while the tree's still alive.
And then you...
One branch at a time.
Then you send that paper to his tree family.
That's right.
With the note says...
With the words, "You're next." What was your note going to say?
Rip Maokai.
Okay, that works. All right, B&P is Maokai. Looks like SKTelecom might be giving up this dragon. They could use it too.
Faker's not there. I'll see if how much they want to contest this. Duke has TP.
Could come down. Looks like they're going to let
Try
them
for a
have it.
steal.
Whoa, almost get it, but not quite. Blank gets out though.
That was that sight stone. So instead they're going to try and just put pressure on the mid lane. So they get some decent turret damage down in mid and top, but they don't actually commit to the fight.
Yep.
Well, not a lot at top.
About half when it's all said and done, I guess. Well, it's half the turret they don't have to kill later, I suppose.
SKT already has those 2 dragons also. Giving one up right now isn't a major concern for
Yep.
them.
Oh, flash engage from Cougar. They're going in all in on this one. Emperor's Divide doesn't really connect. And SKTelecom able to kite back a bit, do some damage. Duke teleporting in this time. But that engage wasn't quite as clean as Kongdoo would have hoped for. Crush gets the cocoon onto Wolf. Are they going to go for this? Wolf taking some damage, but SKT just continues to disengage. They might lose their mid turret for this, though.
That would be a pretty harsh punishment. Going from a dragon straight into a mid turret
Yeah.
would be a big win for Kongdoo. That would finally expand their gold lead.
Well, they'll get it, too. Yeah, jumping out. Well, it's still about 1,000 gold. It really hasn't expanded it much. But it is a lead.
Is a lead. SKT, though, just like Kongdoo, has a very strong late game with their composition.
Yeah.
They have good pick potential.
If you think about it, though, the last game was over by this point.
It was.
So Kongdoo certainly holding out at least a lot better this time around, and
No, I
even
think-
having a little bit of a lead.
I think SKTelecom has misplayed, and Kongdoo has had the edge in a lot of these failed turret dives.
There goes another turret. In favor of SKTelecom this time around. The turret's evened up now.
They've kept their poise. They've been tricky. Hippo coming down for the first blood was a good play by him. Unexpected, but punishes Faker's aggressive laning. See Edge make that really nice Asir play to kill Blank on the gank at the top side. So they've been playing with a lot of awareness about where SKTelecom is going to strike based on the summoner spells, and that has been rewarded.
Yep.
But now they're 200 gold ahead.
Yeah. That turret from SKTelecom really evened things up. Edge in a lot of trouble, getting slowed, getting exhausted over the wall. Bang! With a kill using that boomerang blade. And this is exactly the type of situation that SKTelecom can turn into a big lead.
I think they're a bit low on mana though, so his poke and his rocket spam may not be enough to bust through a tier 2.
And no minion wave either until right now. They had to wait a little bit for that one.
A lot of their wave clear's gone though.
Cougar trying to engage. They're going in 4v5. SKTelecom not intimidated though. Blank goes in onto Hippo, tries to see if he can find something there, but not going to work out. So a little bit of damage on that tier 2, but more importantly, just a nice pick onto Edge there.
They just simply didn't have the resources to continue making plays. Without the poke damage, they're not really going to be able to secure the turret. If you don't have mana for the poke, you can't proc your Sheen, you can't take the turret quickly. It goes downhill pretty fast.
True. Faker just taking the blue buff over on the left side. He's going to clear out this minion wing. No mana, but he gets it.
He's got blue buff. It's
Yeah.
okay. He'll get mana.
SKTelecom has pushed out the waves a little bit now.
Yeah, Faker going for the Infinity Edge second, so choosing to go for those big crits. And that's actually important because Kongdoo doesn't have a lot of armor at the moment. Hippo was in lane against Duke, so went for the Spirit Visage first. Take a look at how this came down. Trundle Pillar used early, and Edge just walks up on it, gets way too far forward. And right there, Boomerang Blade over the wall to help finish off that kill.
Yeah, you can't make a mistake around SKTelecom like that. Bang needs to be careful here.
So Baron becoming a realistic option for these teams, both of them,
Yep,
at this phase of the game, especially with that Azir.
that is true. SKTelecom zoning away Kongdoo for the moment, though. They've even got, well, they've evened up the gold now.
Crush actually wins the war on that one. Blank does use Smite.
Minute 20 till the next dragon now.
We're going to head into the late game with this one, Doa. But
I think so.
Good on Kongdoo for staying in there. Playing a much tighter early game this time.
Yeah, they've looked good in game number 2. Not bad at all.
Really punished SKT's turret dive mistakes quite well. Duke back to his lack of teleporting ways.
Yeah, he's kind of got the, well, they can handle it philosophy.
So QSS done now for Hippo too, so that solves that problem. He got his first armor item, got his first MR item. Now he gets the QSS to make sure that he will not be torn asunder by Sivir and Corki.
It's a good idea.
No one likes to be torn asunder.
No. Does not sound fun. Okay, over the wall. Explosive cast doesn't really get Soul where he wants him. Here comes Wolf. Faker up there too. Teleport coming in though for Hippo. Bang in the back. Oh, teleport. Yeah, Hippo gets onto Faker. Faker gets away though. They're going to turn this one around a little bit. Edge has a pretty good angle on this. Hippo though getting very, very low. There's a kill for Kongdoo. There's 2 kills for Kongdoo. Blank coming in. Emperor's Divide pushes him back. Cougar re-engaging, and Kongdoo winning this team fight pretty handily. Bang forced a flash. Blank tries to keep him alive. Actually, Bang managed to get one out of that, surprisingly. But Blank, the only one to survive that team fight, and wow, that was really good for Kongdoo. They're going to go right to the Dragon after this, too.
Yeah, SKT did enough damage, though, that they're not going to be able to take the Baron. That's about the only saving grace, but Kongdoo there, catching them out of position. Hippo flashed and W'd for Faker right after that teleport to try and lock him down, forcing Faker to use a couple summoner spells just to disengage. And then they went way too hard on the re-engage here. So with Duke's ultimate down, it's really difficult for them to get a re-engage in the first place. So Bang and Blank going to come up. Cougar with a great read gets a really good combo in. And the damage dealers are not actually on that back line, so it's easy for Kongdoo just to isolate Gragas and actually take him out right there. Then there's the re-engage combo after the Emperor's Divide. Bang here. Now Blank gonna get the Q onto Soul. That was a bit too aggressive right there.
For most of that fight, though, Soul and Edge just had a shooting gallery. I mean, they were just untouched in the back lines.
Once you make a play like Duke did and you try and make that pick, coming over the wall to surprise the Lucian and try and force that fight, force the easy kill onto him, and you miss that, you kind of need to just wait. You can't really go in after that. And here we go. Kongdoo wants this. They know Duke. Well, Duke CP is up.
This is a very brave Baron.
Very brave.
There's the teleport coming in for SKTelecom. They disengage from Baron. On the run now. Yeah, Duke teleports in.
But Kongdoo is not going to take damage from Baron, so at least they have that. The problem is that they don't have control over the mid wave. Blank is going to run interference alongside Duke while they just take the mid turret. So not the best, not the best minion wave control from Kongdoo in order to take that, but they try for it, fail. They end up losing more than they gained.
Yep.
At least they got the TP out, I suppose. But
wow,
SKT is doing a real good job of making sure they can't get back to defend their turrets.
Well, they're going to lose this mid lane inhibitor turret just immediately. SKTelecom, I mean, again, talk about taking something and just getting the most out of it. That's really what SKT's always been good at.
SKT has a gold lead now, too.
Yeah.
They really punished that. That's why you need to be able to push out if you're going to take that Baron. But honestly, Duke and Blank did a wonderful job of preventing Kongdoo from taking the easy jungle routes through.
Yeah.
And opening up time for Faker and Bang to whittle away those turrets. And now there's an exposed inhibitor they're going to have to consider for the rest of this game. Do see staggered recalls here, not giving them a chance to counterplay with a Baron. But Kongdoo will have a pressure edge now. And Hippo, if he can split push against Duke, could be successful in setting up some more plays that could lead to a Baron. They have a few minutes here on the Summoner to play with.
Yeah, Hippo's almost got his teleport back now. Have it in just a second. SKTelecom. Pings from both teams going on near the Baron. They know that's where all the action's going to be.
SKT with a distinct edge and vision.
Yeah. Got quite a few wards. Just one ward, I believe, in the Baron pit for Kongdoo right now.
Probably be. Nope, nothing.
Not anymore. Nope. There was, but I think the pink ward helped them spot it out. So the Hippo split push begins. And wow, Cougar needs to be careful. Headbutts Blank back over the wall. Wolf coming from the side, drops a pillar. Cougar used his ult.
Waiting.
The fact that ult might be down. Oh, okay. Well, Explosive Cask not quite getting him where they wanted him to, but they got the summoner, they got the ultimate, and that means a lot of Baron pressure from SKT now. They might just be able to take it.
Well, they have to consider Crush right here. They're going to turn.
Yep, that's right. Soul and Edge on the run. Whoa, Soul takes a huge amount of damage. Blank wrapped up just a little bit. Faker safe on the outside of the fight for the moment. SKT just, again, you know, taking big chunks out of Kongdoo Monster.
How did Hippo end up in that Baron pit? That was really weird.
I'm not sure. I didn't see.
Because he had to flash out of the Baron pit.
Maybe he twisted advanced on somebody on the other side.
But there was nobody else in the Baron pit. I actually caught it out of the corner of my eye.
Do not know
I'd actually really like to see a replay of that because he probably twisted advanced onto somebody and that person immediately left the Baron pit.
Could be.
But nobody, usually the twisted advance will follow, so not sure how he got there.
Oh.
Did use TP, oh, used TP, so he's just on the other side, looks like.
Ah, okay. Simpler than we thought. All right, are they going to actually go for this? Just clearing out some vision for the moment. Oh, here we go. Hippo slowed up just a little bit. Blank goes in, tries to make a play, but no. Hippo's probably not the one you want to kick out anyway. Ultimate backup for Gragas, so he can use that at any time.
Kongdoo with a solid defense right there.
Yeah.
Cougar not getting greedy. They tried to make that pick, and they were just waiting for that ultimate to fall off, so it was a game of chicken with the Explosive Cask and the flash. Cougar had to use that flash. So he would have been dead meat.
Pretty much. Faker has a package too now. So SKTelecom can start setting up for something. They take the Disc of the Sun in the mid lane. And also Dragon's coming up in about a minute too. So a lot to think about right now.
Yeah, 2-2 in Dragons though. It's not going to be that important for either of these teams. SKT now the one with the teleport advantage. So they can start to just play around the bottom tier 2 and the Baron, threatening both at the same time. Kongdoo's going to have to make some tough decisions about what they're going to do about Duke. Duke does have the Iceborne, so it's not like it's going to take him that long to drive his way through a tier 2 turret. He's got plenty of vision too, he's just going to take it.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to be able to stop him really. SKT has pressure on Baron.
Double recall.
Yeah, Kongdoo going for it now. They see the recalls from SKTelecom.
back.
Yeah.
Didn't know that, so SKTelecom just forcing them
awkward
to give up a tier 2 turret. Not really a way that Kongdoo is going to be able to defend that.
I guess so.
Taking the slow incremental advantages, Doa.
Yep, SKTelecom continuing to expand that gold lead too. Why not take the Dragon? Do you think Kongdoo can try to pressure Baron in response?
As soon as they see Maokai, they're going to take this there.
Yep. They are taking it. And so there you go. Okay, so SKTelecom gets an easy third Dragon. Recalls coming in from Kongdoo on the other side of the map. Where does SKTelecom go? Because that inhibitor is vulnerable. All right, well, Edge going in, trying to make a play, but that was really messed up. Oh, man. Edge. That's it. I guess that's the inhibitor at least.
It's the inhibitor and the Baron. Faker in the meantime.
Fighting Hippo. All right. There's the exhaust. Blank coming in to help out. They get the inhibitor at the same time.
Oh, he killed him.
Whoops. Well, Faker just watched Mickey play in the last series. He's like, I got to try plays like that. Oops. Well, so much for the Baron anyway.
Pretty clutch kill, though.
Yeah, no kidding. That was kind of silly for Faker to be dueling that Maokai there.
Well, you don't expect the Maokai to do that much damage, but in this particular game, Hippo has built the Iceborne.
Yeah.
He also has the AoE damage from the Sunfire Capes. If you stand next to him, you are going to take some punishment.
Yeah. That's exactly what Faker did.
Took the punishment.
He stood next to the Maokai and took the punishment.
You don't want to stand next to a flaming tree, Doa.
No, you don't. Wow,
A flaming tree that freezes you.
Yeah. Freezing flaming tree. Well, that was not exactly the play that Edge wanted
I wonder
to
if
make there.
he misclicked that, honestly, and he didn't mean to go in on his Sand Soldiers right there because that was a big mistake. Faker, yeah, you'd think this is fine, but when the tree has absorbed so much damage with his ultimate, it mean, pop.
Oh, Faker. Oops.
He nearly got it.
He did. It was close. But now Faker is 0-3-5 this game. Not the greatest score line ever we've seen from this guy, but oh well. He's got the items now.
Got the items.
Yep. It's been messy. It's been a little bit of a messy second game.
How would you feel about standing next to, being frozen next to an on-fire tree, Doa?
I feel like I would feel like I was a normal temperature. They'd cancel each other out. Cougar goes in onto Wolf. Where's the rest of SKTelecom? Faker's a long way away. Teleport coming in. Hippo wants to join the party. Duke already there. They're going to go for the blue buff really quick for Faker as they disengage.
It's going to be another TP advantage for Duke, and now that Baron threat gets even more real. They certainly got nice damage down onto Wolf, but with the Trundle pillar and the fact that he got a little bit extra tankier there at the end as a result of his ultimate, it's tough to actually pick them off. They didn't even have to use the explosive cask. Oh, nice dodge!
Oh, yeah, that's right. They get a big pick onto Blank, onto Trundle as well. And Kongdoo starting off this fight strong. SKTelecom on the run. Oh, man, they didn't think anyone was in that rush after Blank checked it. Soul gets really low, though. Oh, Faker flashes for the kill. He gets it, too. But the engage comes in. Explosive cast splits up the team. Can SKTelecom win this one? Oh, man, Bang is really the one who needs to do the damage now. He's going to flash ahead. Hippo turns around, but that's a double for Bang. And SKTelecom winning a crazy team fight here.
That was such a good play from Faker.
Yep.
He basically saved the Baron right there and won the team fight. Holy
Triple
cow.
kill for Bang. Wow, Faker playing a little bit silly in the last fight, but this time coming up big.
I mean, it's 1-4-7, but that was a hero move right there because if they hadn't been able to take out a couple extra members of Kongdoo, that was like a game-changing moment, and now instead,
That could be the end.
it's probably the end of the game.
And
So Faker and Bang doing work in that last fight. It's only Crush, one spider against the world.
That's right, but he's got 8 legs.
Crush the spider.
Might not be enough, though. Yep, Crush taking a lot of damage, but he's delaying. There goes the first Nexus turret.
Can't. Well, they got 5 seconds on Soul.
I don't know if they can end this one. They're
They
going to
have?
try it. Oh, no, they've got enough damage with that Sivir.
They have
should.
Iceborne,
Here
too.
comes Soul trying to make it work. Duke zoning. Soul, they're going to turn it. Wow, they get the 80 carry already. Edge comes in. That's a lot of damage on the Bang, but here comes Wolf. Duke's still there, and now Kongdoo funneling one by one to die. To the remaining members of SKTelecom, the Nexus going to get beaten to death here. Wolf and Duke trying to finish it. Can they do it? Looks like they barely can, and SKTelecom gets the 2-0. And GG.
Well, that was an exciting end to that game.
Interesting end, yeah.
Bang picked up like 7 kills or 6 kills right at the end there.
Yep. Faker's like, I made a play.
Well,
He did.
clutch.
I
Clutch
guess.
kill onto Soul, and Soul was playing way too far forward in a lot of those team fights. Definitely a bit sloppy on the positioning. Got really punished because if he hadn't gotten chunked out at in the start of that team fight and then allowed the opportunity for Faker to flash back onto him, they probably could have won that game.
So the march up the standings continues for SKTelecom. They are now tied with KT Rolster for second place at 10-5 match score wise and plus 10 game score wise.
It's going to make next week a really fun match.
Yeah.
SKT versus KT.
That is going to be awesome.
Could decide these playoff seedings, and again, those rankings super important because every step you go up on the end of the season ranking, that's one less best of 5 you have to play in the playoffs, so it's absolutely huge.
Yeah. Yeah, whoever gets second place just needs to win one best of 5, and then they're in the finals. It's definitely the place you want to be. And as far as Kongdoo goes, they played okay in the second game. They responded well early on, but in the end, I mean, veteran team versus kind of some newer players on Kongdoo, a little bit less experience, and enormous damage from Bang.
Over 40,000 damage to champions. Faker was next in line with 24,000, so Bang carrying SKTelecom that game.
Oh yeah. Faker, made some plays, but looking a little bit disappointed about that one. He played it a little bit silly in game 2.
I mean, there was a Maokai in his lane in like
that is
5 minutes of the game.
That is true. It was a rough game for Faker, but hey, they still won, so who cares? A win is a win is a win, and game 2's MVP is Bang.
Well deserved MVP from Bang, especially with his performance in that last team fight. See this, I mean, his boomerang blades were just on point right here too. Carving him up at the end of his flash. I don't know what happened to Edge right there. That was bizarre.
I think he just completely fat fingered what he was trying to do there.
That's a huge mistake to make in a game like this.
Yep.
A game that's very winnable. Take a look at some of these fights that were so very even. Both these team compositions excelling in the mid and late game. And Kongdoo did pretty well this game, honestly.
Yeah, not too bad.
This is bangs, cleanup, janitorial services. It's a triple, gets a double.
This was a little bit silly at the end there, but they're like, well, we can probably end the game.
Well, they definitely could with the damage that they had with Wolf and Bang coming, or Blank rather, coming up the mid lane. And as long as they could pick off people one by one, Soul has to go in right here, tie them up long enough, but that damage, just too much. Edge finally finishes off the kill undo. Bang, but then gets destroyed himself as Wolf rejoins the rest of his team.
That's right, so time for an MVP interview with Blank and Bang after their 2-0 over Kongdoo Monster. And once again, of course, George will be translating for us.
All right, this is George again. So today's match between SKT and Kongdoo. SKT was able to beat Kongdoo 2-0. And today's MVPs are Blank and Bang. Let's meet our MVPs. First of all, for Blank. It is your fourth consecutive MVP. How do you feel? To tell you the truth, I know I just played well, but our team members actually kind of supported me very much, so I'm very happy. I know with your Graves pick, and you had the most damage as a jungler. What was team reaction? I know in our team it is the first time that jungler actually gave the most damage. I know in front of blue buff, it was 2-1 situation. You kind of killed both of them. Did you actually plan it? When I played Graves, I know I can give a lot of damage. I kind of planned it and expected it. I know everyone played very well on the first set and also Wolf was one of the players that actually played very well. Was he very sad that he didn't get the MVP? He was really sad. I know the bottom duo. He was really sad because he played very well in first set. I know a lot of fans were expecting you and Faker's making jokes together. Can you please say something to make a joke to Faker? I don't want to make that typical joke. I think it is out of fashion, and we're kind of planning on making a real good joke for next time. I know you kind of noticed that you get a lot of fans now. Please say something to your fans. On the second set, I really didn't play very well, and I'm really thankful that I was able to get MVP in the first set. And thank you for all the fans that cheer for me. I'll personally say hi to you all later. All right, next up would be Bang. It's been a while since you got MVP. How do you feel? I'm just happy that we won. With today's victory, you guys made it to the second rank. How do you feel? I know we still have many games to play, 7 games to play. Hopefully, we win all the games, and I wanna stay in the second rank. I know opponent Kongdoo actually beat you guys in a set last game. Did you actually expect that? I really don't remember that game because I forgot all the first round set games. On the second set, It was really, you guys had a shaky game.
어떤 장면에서
What moment did you think that you're gonna make a real move to turn this game over towards you guys?
마지막 한타 할 때도
In the last team fight,
거라고 생각을 못했어서
I didn't expect to win
상대 이제 조합이
because opponents comp they had a very good composition.
걸렸는지 걸렸는지 기억이 안 나는데
I don't remember if we initiated it or if they initiated it,
깰수 있을 것 같다고
but
해서
after we won it, we all thought that we were gonna able to destroy the Nexus. So,
기억이 안 나요.
and he said he doesn't really remember if they initiated or the opponent initiated.
선수가 앞으로 들어가고 뒤에서 뱅 선수의
I know Faker went in, and then you gave a lot of damage. What was your mindset? I should kill.
예측할 수 없었던 그런 한타여서
Until the team fight was over, I couldn't expect if we were gonna win it or not.
정말 이렇게 뱅 선수 11일 4승 0패인데 오늘도 역시 활약해주면서
I know with your Sivir,
숙명이죠. 딜 넣어야겠다라는 생각 계속했던 것 같습니다.
he expected to give a lot of damage.
한것 같아요.
It seems like you were on diet. I heard you lost 18 kilograms.
He definitely has lost a lot of weight.
It's impressive.
His chin looks very sharp, and it looks like a very different person, I guess.
끝나고 나서
After the World Championship,
공격해준 형이랑 언제 뺄 거야? 살 언제 뺄 거야?
our translator, my translator actually told me that, asked me actually, if when are you gonna lose weight? When are you gonna lose weight? So I kind of made that promise, and hopefully our fans kind of like it.
말하면 정말 지키는 선수군요.
He actually does make his promises, keeps his promises.
줄어든다는 그런 선수들의 징크스도 있잖아요.
I know there a lot of people say that there's a jinx that if you lose weight, you don't play as well. What do you think about that? I don't believe that.
다이어트를 너무 열심히 하신 것 같아요. 저는
Maybe they lost too much weight.
안 가도록 해서
But however, I kind of kept my condition very high and well.
징크스는 아닌 것 같습니다. 이제 플레이오프 진출을 위해서 앞으로 더 최선을 다해줘야
I know you guys probably have to play very well
프레누전 남아 있습니다.
for the rest of the season to make to the playoffs. Please say something for the last time
위로 마치고
how you're gonna play against those teams.
뭐
And on the last
남은 경기 잘해서
season, we actually made it to playoffs,
하고 싶네요.
and I really want to advance to the playoffs.
오랜만에 인터뷰한 백 선수에게도 큰 박수 부탁드립니다.
All right, round of applause for Bang. Congratulations for SKT and the two MVPs. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks for translating, George. And SKTelecom getting the 2-0, getting the second place tie with KT Rolster. We've said it before on the cast. I'm really excited about SKT versus KT next week. That's going to be awesome.
It's going to be great.
Yeah, so today's results. Africa Freaks getting the 2-0 over Jin Air, actually, which, we were thinking maybe that would go to 3 games, but the Freaks looking really good, and Jin Air looking really kind of lost.
Africa started the season 1-6, Stella.
Yeah.
And now
I know.
they are 8-7.
It's incredible stuff. Kongdoo Monster getting taken down by Telecom. Just saw that match, obviously. SKT looking like they didn't have too much of a hard time of it, except for a couple of steps in game number 2. Rocks Tigers still way on top, but look at that. Telecom tied up with KT Rolster at 10-5 apiece.
So every game is going to count from this point forward.
Yeah.
Telecom, I think, has the head-to-head advantage over KT, hence why they are now in second place.
Right.
Of course, it goes best of 3 score, then game differential, then head-to-head record.
That's right. So tomorrow, Spenu Sonic Boom taking on Longju Gaming, and then CJ Antis versus KT Rolster. CJ, been looking better lately. KT, though, really needs to win that.
Crapshoot with KT, I feel.
I know.
Sometimes it's mid-Malzahar and it works. Sometimes it's protect the Draven and it looks terrible.
SKTelecom fighting Samsung then the next day, and then Rocks Tigers versus Africa Freaks. After everybody that the Freaks have been beating, Rocks Tigers is going to have to take this one pretty seriously if they want to preserve their pride. Don't need to worry about the standings too much, but pride will be on the line at least.
And in the Africa Freaks chain of destruction that they have managed to wreak upon this league, their only loss was to SKTelecom, and even that was a 3-game series, and it was quite close. They took game 1. It looked like they took game 1 really easily too, and it looked like they may be able to come back and actually win a second best of 3 against SKT. Didn't end up happening. SKT powering up, but Freaks need to be taken seriously.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can't deny anymore that these guys are really, really, well, maybe not. It's hard for me to say even. I want to say they're really, really good, but I don't know. They're good at the moment. We'll see if it continues. Thanks for watching, guys. More champions tomorrow. See you.